and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan, and it is time for a Gameweek 25, a deadline stream. Welcome one more. I hope you're all ready for the most chaotic game week we have had so far this season. It certainly is chaotic. I'm seeing a lot of heavy hits coming around, and that's okay. That's absolutely fine. If that's what we need to do, then that's what we need to do. So you can see on screen, you've got my team on screen as we speak, which is pretty good. No hits needed, 2 free transfers used, and I think I'm pretty happy. No changes. So show team gang, if you're early, show team gang are never early, but you know, if you are early and you're a show team gang, then congratulations, you got what you want. But we will be trolling show team gangs at some point in the future, I imagine. Nicola here, evening Dan, thoughts on Salah triple captain? It's a pretty good game week to go for it if you wanted to. Look, there's going to be future game weeks where there is more doubles. But we're probably going to be using some of our other chips to navigate those. So I feel like actually it's not such a bad game week for a triple captain. It's going to be on Salah or maybe Saka as well. So those two players would be pretty good. Obviously, shout out to our members in the chat as well. Any members today, if you are here and you are a member, please throw up a blackcurrant squash emoji, because we are the blackcurrant squash gang over here. I'll have a little swig on your behalf. Cheers, guys. I've also done a graphic for today as well. I have done a bench list, just because I kind of thought the bench list is so luxury. Anyone who's actually got a bench dilemma, you guys must be just like, I don't know, you're sitting pretty good right now. But I thought we'll throw in a graphic instead. So I'm going to just load that one up for us, and we can have a little look at it. I'm going to have to probably shrink it a little bit, just so it shows on screen, so it's not covering my face. But here we go, guys. There's a little graphic for you. We'll just close that so you can't see it as well. But yeah, there we go. Is that all right? I think that's all right. And we can have a little look at this whilst we talk today as well. Super chat here from Michael Kunzel, who says, "Hey Dan, again, thank you for the best FPL content." Thank you. I'm glad you think so. Tell me your opinion. 1, Diogo Jota instead of Darwin. Really risky. It's far too risky for me personally, so not something I'd be looking to do. And 2, Mahrez or Foden or Grealish for Bruno. No hits. I feel like it's got to be like Mahrez or Foden. We know those two players have such nice upsides. They really do have amazing upside. So I feel like there has to be an argument to go for them, or at least if you have a Mahrez already, I would be keeping him, because the upside of him going up against Bournemouth is got to be really high, surely. Certainly, a lot of people have asked me this week, would you transfer Mahrez out to get Gakpo, for example? There is no way I would be doing that. No way in hell. So yeah, definitely Mahrez is a decent shout if you've already got him. In terms of bringing someone in, look, Foden, he is fresh. So maybe that indicates that maybe he can come in. But I feel like Mahrez is the man in form. So it's a real risk going for him. If you already have him, then like there's no real... you know, you're not outlaying transfers in order to make a risk. But to buy one, I'm not so sure. Unless you're on like a free hit or a wild card or something, then maybe. But yeah, it's okay. I don't mind Mahrez for this game week. I really don't mind him. I think he's an okay shout. I don't think he's like super amazing shout because of that risk, but he could do okay. It's not so bad. We've got another super chat here from Wheelchair Mafia, who says, "Hi Dan, thoughts on Patterson out, Coleman in for a 4-point hit?" Patterson is obviously looking like he's not going to be ready for this game week, so Patterson is a player that we would be potentially looking to remove. Don't really like Coleman. I would rather go for Tarkowski. In fact, if we just get rid of this graphic, because we don't need that right now. I'll upload that graphic to Twitter, by the way, guys, if you want to follow me over there at FPL Mate. But if we have a look here at some numbers, we do like to have a look at some numbers. Have a look since, I don't know, should we have a look since the break, maybe? Per start, and then have a look at expected points. Maybe that's not super useful. What about expected goal involvement? Let's go for that one instead. And you can see... And this is the reason why no one's really talking about the likes of Coleman and Mykolenko. You can see that Tarkowski is genuinely a bigger threat to goal than both Coleman and Mykolenko. So it's one of those scenarios where actually the centre-backs are actually providing a little bit of better kind of attacking threat than the fullbacks, and that's very much I think that's very much due in part to the Sean Dyche effect. The Sean Dyche kind of setup doesn't involve bombing forward fullbacks. The fullbacks do prefer to sit in a little bit deeper. So the fullbacks aren't really getting involved in attacks in the same way as you might think that they would typically. So therefore, it's actually the centre-backs from those set pieces, which are so important for Everton at the moment. The centre-backs are actually getting more chances to score. So yeah, not really too keen on a Coleman, not too keen on a Mykolenko. I guess you could go for a Mykolenko if you already have Tarkowski. Am I confident about doubling up on Everton defence? Not particularly, but hey, it's a double game week. If that's the only way you can make certain other moves, like if, you know, Patterson to Mykolenko, for example, is your only way of getting that full 11 players, then I kind of do understand it, because Patterson is not going to be, well, unlikely to be getting many minutes in this double game weeks. But you got to remember that Everton do have a tricky pair of fixtures, really. I mean, we can have a look at the image again. The pair of fixtures are Aston Villa, who are scoring every game, and Arsenal away, who are, you know, good. So, yes, of course, there's a chance for Everton to keep clean sheets. There always is at the moment, but it's definitely not something that's guaranteed, I don't think. So, yeah, just be aware of that, I suppose, before jumping in on those Everton defenders too heavily. Tarkowski is fine because he's got a decent amount of attacking threat, a high upside, and he's very cheap as well. So there's a lot of advantages for going for Tarkowski at the moment. But in terms of going for that second one, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, that's all I will say on that one. Anyway, shall we? I just want to go through my team very quickly. Before we go any further, because we've got loads of time today. We're going a little bit earlier on the live stream today, so may as well go a little bit early and talk about some of my decisions. So, very pleased to say that, I mean, this sounds so harsh, but in fact, no, I'm not pleased to say. Fortunately for me, is probably a better way of phrasing this, Laporte has been ruled out of the weekend's game through illness. So with Laporte out, that really does skyrocket Nathan Ake's chances of game time. So I think that's a good thing. I quite like that. And I feel like if you've got Nathan Ake, I would keep him. In terms of De Bruyne, obviously another player who has been ill. He has returned to training today, but obviously there's not much time for him to get himself up to full speed before the game, so it's kind of a difficult one. You know, he's only ill. It's not like a major injury that he's returning from. Can he come straight back into that Man City team? You would think that ideally Pep Guardiola would want to play De Bruyne in a game like this against Bournemouth. However, is it guaranteed? No. I think I would still be making that De Bruyne to Salah switch if possible, particularly if that's not going to take any hits. You don't have to free up any budget in order to do it. I think I would still be making that move, but I just wanted to point out that there is actually a chance that De Bruyne does play in this game. If he does, it's against Bournemouth, and you never know what can happen in a situation like that. It kind of does stink of the kind of game where Man City could score a couple of goals, and you would think the likes of De Bruyne is going to be involved in that. Erling Haaland's going to be involved in that. Mahrez, if he's playing, are going to be involved in that as well. So there's going to be a few things there. Someone said about Akanji in the chat. Not so confident about Akanji. One thing that does benefit him is that Kyle Walker has played a lot of games in a row. So maybe that means that we're going to see a reintroduction of Akanji to replace Walker there in the Man City starting 11. So yeah, there we go. Still got people asking in the chat, who should I sell Ake for? I don't think you should sell him. I like, now we have the Laporte news. I don't think Ake is a sell at all. I think he is firmly a keep. Particularly if we're talking about taking hits to remove Ake, would not be doing that at all. I think we stick with what we got, really. I think that's probably the play here. Probably the play. I mean, at the end of the day, what other defenders are you going to go for? Unless you can free up some budget to go for a high upside player like Trent Alexander-Arnold, maybe Robertson, then, we're really looking at Kilmans and, more Everton defenders who maybe we're not so keen to hold on to long term. And, there's no guarantee that they get clean sheets anyway. They're not super keen on those, really. We've got a couple of super chats. One from Serendipitipsy, who says, "Hey Dan, do you think Saka is worth a -8? It depends who else you're bringing in alongside him, and it depends who else you're removing. So if you're removing players that you actually don't want to have long term, players you're not too keen on, then yeah, obviously they are going to be candidates to be removed. If you're swapping about your Arsenal players, like if you're removing Nketiah to make this move, I don't think I'd do it. If you're replacing Zinchenko or Gabriel, don't think I would do that. If you are replacing maybe Martinelli, it's risky, but it could come off. But at the same time, I don't actually mind Martinelli that much. Ødegaard's got to stay regardless. So it's kind of up to you. It's a difficult one. I would maybe do a minus. I would definitely do a -4 to get Saka into your team, as long as the other transfers are also improving your team, not just for this game week, but for future game weeks as well. Aside from that, I'm not so sure. Not so sure. So yeah, difficult without context. But Saka is definitely a player that I'd be keen to have for this game week. We got another super chat from Noel, who says, Shaw to Tarkowski -4, or Shaw to Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mitro to Nonto at -8. I did Salah and Darwin for Kane and Mahrez using my 2 free transfers. Fair enough. This is an interesting one. I think a lot of people are actually going to be taking -8s or more this game week. I think, about half of the people are like playing FPL are probably going to be taking heavy hits. So I wouldn't worry too much about the fact that you're taking a hit. However, what we need to consider is, do you want Shaw for future game weeks? If you're not bothered about having him for the Liverpool game, then maybe you could sell him. Trent Alexander-Arnold, very high upside, which is nice. Mitrovic to Nonto obviously gives you that extra player. If you have a Pereira, I would just, play him instead. But Mitrovic is really a big risk, isn't he? We're not sure if he's going to be available or not. It's, I don't know. It's difficult to call. I don't think he is going to play, though. So, yeah, maybe you do need to get that Nonto into your team. But again, is Nonto a long-term pick? If we look through the fixtures again, do we want those Leeds players? Leeds kind of got Chelsea after this game, and then Brighton. You're not going to play Nonto for that. Mike blank against Wolves in game week 28. No fixture there. Double game week in 29, but it's one of the fixtures is against Arsenal, so it's like it's not the best double game week in the world. An away fixture against Arsenal, is it? So yeah, difficult to call, really. Not massively keen on buying Nonto at this point, I don't think. Yeah, difficult one. Maybe that just tells you that maybe Shaw to Tarkowski is the transfer move to make. Going to depend on your kind of chip strategy a little bit, but with Everton players, I know a lot of people are looking to get Everton players because they also have a fixture in game week 28, so maybe that's a possibility there. He's not going to have a double game week in 29 though, Tarkowski. So I don't know if Tarkowski is a player you want to play every game week necessarily, but he's good for this game week. I think he's good for game week, what is it? Game week 26 as well, so covers you for the next 2 weeks. In fact, to be honest, Tarkowski probably outscores Shaw over the next 2 game weeks, right? Because Shaw in the next 2 game weeks has 1 fixture against Liverpool, and Tarkowski has 3 fixtures against Aston Villa, Arsenal, and then Nottingham Forest. So, look, I think I've kind of answered my question in and amongst all of my rambling. Shaw to Tarkowski for a straight -4. It doesn't look like such a bad move, I don't think. I think that's not so bad. The problem I have with players like Trent Alexander-Arnold is because they're a lot of money, and they also play Manchester United next game week. So there's no real guarantee for clean sheets in this game week, because we know what Liverpool are like by this point. Yes, he's got a very high upside, but there's no guarantee of results there. And then we've got Man United the following week. Might have that blank in 28 as well, so might not even cover you there. So yeah, Tarkowski is your guy, I think. I like Tarkowski. I think he's a really good enabler. A real good enabler at the moment. Linus says, Edison to Pickford for a -4. I already own Kepa. No, definitely not. I mean, you have Edison has a fixture. He's nailed on to play against Bournemouth, who are a weak attack. So, no, definitely not. I would just keep Edison. If you have Edison right now, I would be playing him. I would be keeping him. Yeah, there's no reason to sell Edison this game week, I don't think. Particularly not for a -4. He's absolutely fine for a couple of game weeks, really, because we've got Newcastle at home. They're struggling to score goals. Got Crystal Palace there as well, another team that doesn't score a huge amount of goals, particularly against some of those better defences. So yeah, I think Edison is fine. I think Edison is fine to keep. I've got Gunjal Desai, who says Salah, Nunez, Tarkowski, Trent Alexander-Arnold for a -8. Depends who you're removing. I feel like those are probably the 4 top transfer targets. One thing I should actually say on this one, which I do think is kind of interesting, is with the comments from Jurgen Klopp today, I'll bring up my Twitter because I did post at least part of the quote on my Twitter earlier today, which is why you should always follow FPL Mate on twitter.com. But here we go. So, Klopp press conference. So, The goals versus Newcastle were team goals, but we have to make changes. We cannot change that. It's not hard. We have too many games to make it hard. We have too many games to keep it the same. It's good. It's helpful, but we have to make changes. And a lot of people have interpreted that, myself included, as basically Jurgen Klopp coming out and saying, I am going to rotate my team. We've got a lot of fixtures. A lot of people are saying, oh, Liverpool have given up in the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. They haven't. You really think Liverpool, they are the Champions League team, right? You think they are going to give up because they're 3-0 down against Real Madrid and play the youth team? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's wishful thinking. That is hopium that the Liverpool do, rest their players against Real Madrid. It's not going to happen. They're still going to fancy their chances. They're still going to give that a strong go. So there is a lot of games for Liverpool. They've just played a midweek game against Real Madrid. Obviously, they played it last weekend as well. They're going to play this weekend. And they're going to play again in the midweek. And then they're going to play against Real Madrid. And then they're going to play Manchester United at the weekend. So if there is going to be changes, if there is going to be rotation, it makes sense for it to happen during this double game week. And a lot of people, particularly Liverpool fans, I don't know, have we got any Liverpool fans in the chat today? Let me know what your thoughts are on this one. But a lot of people have been, suggesting that Firmino is going to come into the team, Jota is going to come back into the team. Some people saying that Nunez might not be quite recovered from his shoulder injury, so maybe actually Darwin Nunez is going to be actually rotated even in the first game against Crystal Palace, which is going to be difficult. And of course, Cody Gakpo is not going to be safe either. So yeah, we're expecting rotation from Liverpool. I don't know how much rotation, but, it suggests heavy rotation. So another reason why I'm kind of a little bit cautious of some of these Liverpool players. Like Salah is fine. Salah is nailed. There's no one really else who can play in his kind of role. So that's fine. Probably. And maybe that swings the captaincy decision as well. If you do think that maybe Salah is even Salah is going to be a player who could potentially be rotated there. But yeah. Certainly, you wouldn't be totally surprised to see, maybe Milner come in and play fullback in one of the games. This has happened a few times already. We've seen it happen time and time again for Liverpool, even this season. So, yeah, possible bit of rotation there would be tragic. It would be tragic for a lot of people. And I'm kind of actually betting on that happening with my own team. That's why I'm not going in on Liverpool, a variety of reasons. Rotation, the fact that I don't really want to keep Liverpool players, the fact that I'm planning on free hitting in game week 28 anyway, so I'm not really sitting here saying, I hope my Liverpool players, play in game week 28, so I have some more, Liverpool players. I'm not betting on that one, really. I'm not really too interested in making the assumption that Liverpool players are going to play in game week 28, because I don't really think they will. I think that's more likely that's going to be a blank. So, yeah, for me personally, just my personal opinions on things, I don't really like the going big on Liverpool. That's not to say it's a bad move necessarily, and it definitely could pay off. But there's no guarantees there. There's no guarantees. So anyway, let's move through some of these super chats, because I know there's a few more that have just come in. We've got Paul, who says, hi Dan, your captaincy Toinkos saved my week last week. Yes. Has this psychic remote spoken yet? Saka or Salah, keep up the great content. Paul, I'm glad the Toinkos helped you with that Rashford captaincy last game week. I have to tell you, I do have the LED controller in my hand right now, and we will be using it to do the virtual Toinkos. It's not virtual, it's real life. For me, it's real life. For you, it's virtual, I guess. But we will be using the magical remote to do the Toinkos this game week to help you with that decision of Salah versus Saka captain. But we are going to also do a poll on this, because I'm also curious to see which way you guys are leaning before you join the Toinkos army, the Blackcurrant Squash Brigade. Actually, I'll tell you already, the Blackcurrant Squash Brigade are going for Saka. That is the Blackcurrant Squash move. If you want to be part of that, then feel free to join. If you don't, that is totally understandable, because we're kind of crazy in the Blackcurrant Squash gang. Cheers. But we will be going for Saka. But yeah, we'll do a poll, see where your guys' head is at. And I'll try and kind of talk through the benefits and drawbacks of each of those two players as well, because there's a real discussion to be had there. I'm just on Saka, because I don't want to be messing about with this decision right until deadline. I thought about it so much today. so much, and yesterday as well, and the day before. Yeah, I spent so much of my time thinking about this. I have come to the conclusion that for me personally, I would like to captain Saka, so that is what I'm going to be doing. Does that mean it's the right decision? Que pasa? Okay, right. Next super chat here from Alamutar. Let's get this right. Almuteri says, already done KDB, Bruno, Shaw for -4 to Salah, Hakpo, and Arnold. And want to do Modric, Gabriel for a -8 to Saka and Bueno. Already have Tarkowski. Oh my word. So we're looking at a -12 here. Would I be removing Modric? I don't know that I would, but it does get you Saka. I think Gabriel could do fine this game week, but it's just the Saka, isn't it? And Bueno could do okay. At least he frees up some budget as well. Maybe restructures your team a little bit, which could be pretty nice. Depends what your team is going to look like in future game weeks, I guess. Almuteri. But I can definitely see the potential of that move, and getting in Saka is going to be important. I think really what you should have done, if I was you, but I know this is like, you know, it's too late for this now. But what I would have done is I would have done maybe, I don't know, maybe KDB, Bruno, and Gabriel out for Salah, Saka, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and kept Bruno. Maybe, and then you could have just played Modric as well. At least he has a fixture, because I do prefer Saka to Hakpo. I don't know. Do I even prefer Modric to Hakpo? Maybe. Not so sure about that one, but it's not that close really. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, it's too late for that one. I think, yeah, Saka is still a priority transfer. I would definitely be taking a -4 to get Saka in. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult in your situation because Gabriel is not such a bad player. I don't know. But Saka for the long term, if you want Saka for the long term, then yeah, do it. Do it. No all says, I did Tarkowski for the -4, thanks. Do I take another -4 to get Mitro out? Because I'm thinking for Watkins, because otherwise I'm fielding 10. Yeah, Watkins or like maybe João Felix. Like I don't mind João Felix. Like if we look through some of these fixtures, we have got actually what looks like a fairly decent run of fixtures for João Felix. I know like Watkins seems to be the player in form, but I'm looking through some of these fixtures, and I don't know, after this game week, I mean, in fact, even arguably including this game week, Felix probably has better fixtures. Like, he's got Spurs, who have been kind of lacking somewhat, and then they've got the likes of Leeds, good fixture, Leicester, good fixture, Everton, good fixture, I guess, and then at Aston Villa, Liverpool, both at home, both really weak defences, two of the weakest defences in the league, both at home. You have to wonder whether that game week is actually a really good opportunity to go for a Chelsea attacker. So Watkins is good, but would I go for João Felix instead? Quite possibly. One to consider. I don't know if you thought about that yet, Noel. But yeah, maybe you could go for Felix instead. But yeah, certainly I would be looking to move out Mitrovic even for a -4 or an additional -4, whatever it is. Because you do want that guaranteed starts, don't you? And yeah, we could see some benefits in that going forward as well. There we are. Big up the toying costs. Big up the blackcurrant squash emojis in the chat I see as well. Propinor says, hi Dan, Kepa Bueno, Ake, Coleman, Salah, Saka, Erdegaard, Nketiah, Kane, Haaland. Do I think I need any other transfers for a -4? And what do you think about the double Everton defence? Don't love the double Everton defence. I'm looking for your team. You look like you're sorted already. I like that team. I think you're absolutely fine. I would have perhaps gone for Tarkowski instead of Coleman, but apart from that, your team is exactly the same as mine. So I think you're good. I think you're good to go. Got some big super chats today, by the way, guys. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, Propinor, your team is so similar to mine, I can't really criticise it. And by the way, guys, those of you who have said, why are you saying coin toss instead of coin toss? I am doing it on purpose. It's this channel meme, I guess. Stick around. You'll get to know the channel memes, the coin toss, the blackcurrant squash gang, the hatred for Neil Morpay. Right, anyway, let's let's continue. Let's continue because we're getting a lot of super chats today. Lucas says, "Hi Dan, I am going for free hit 29, wildcard 33, and bench boost 34 strategy. 2 questions. 1, will Nketiah be an option for Gameweek 28? I doubt it. I do doubt it. I think he is gonna, it's gonna be Gabriel Jesus' season by Gameweek 28 certainly. So I don't think he's a player we'd want to be keeping for too long term. Him to Tony looks good if you're doing the Gameweek 28 free hit tactic, but you're not. In that case, at that point, you're probably looking at Nketiah to João Felix, Watkins, maybe. Any Newcastle or Aston Villa options in midfield? Not really. I wouldn't even put Almiron in that equation. I would maybe Leon Bailey just because he's so cheap. But look, I don't think there's anything amazing really from Newcastle or Aston Villa in terms of midfielders. No super high scoring players that you can be really confident in. But I think Leon Bailey is a decent player, cheap as well. Probably one of Aston Villa's biggest attacking threats at the moment. Let's verify that because we don't want to trick anyone. Let's have a look here. So let's just have a look. I just want to have a look at Aston Villa. I mean, it is the Watkins show, isn't it? So per star, it actually looks like. Let's just go on X points. Let's go on X points. McGinn, apparently, is he nailed on enough? Is McGinn nailed on enough? Because the numbers are saying here. I think I would rather go for Leon Bailey. I think he's not really missed too many games. I think he's only missed 1 game, and even that game he came off the bench and had a couple of good chances. Was that against Arsenal? I think it was. Yeah. There's no one amazing here, but there is Leon Bailey. I think that's probably your best bet, to be honest. Anyway, back to our chat, and I'll put this on screen. Ben Story says, Salah in or Mitro out? Oh, is that the decision? What's the priority? 2 free transfers. 2 free transfers. 1 is going to be Mahrez and Trippier to Mitro. This is hard to read, right? Let me get my concentration now. So, Ben, what you're saying is you're either going to do Mahrez and Trippier to Mitro, Salah, and Mikalenko / Cunha. Oh my God, this is confusing. I don't like Cunha. I'll tell you that straight away. I don't like Cunha. I don't really like Mikalenko over Tarkowski either. To Mitro to Darwin and roll. Oh, I don't know, but I mean, if you can do that, that's not the worst thing in the world. To take an extra free transfer into Gameweek 26 could be huge. If the rest of your team is sorted, I would be happy to keep Mahrez. You don't have to have Salah. He's highly recommended, but it's not like you absolutely have to have him. And maybe you go for that Darwin move. Number three here is Mahrez, Trippier, White, and Mitro to Salah, Mikalenko, Estepinian, and Nketiah from -8. And that gets you Salah, and it sorts out your attack. Oh, I kind of like that, Yeah, I like that. Okay, option number 3, Ben, but with Tarkowski instead of Mikalenko. And it sets you up with Estepinian for future game weeks as well. Possibly a -4 you would be taking in the future anyway. So you can arguably chalk that one off, that -4, because if you feel like you're going to be getting Estepinian in a game week in the future at some point either way, it's not really a -4 because you're going to have to do this move whether you like it or not. So yeah, I kind of like that. Option 3. Base Robin says bench 1, Andreas or Lewis. I would bench Lewis, I think. Unless Lewis just stays on the bench. Yeah, no, I'll play Andreas. Let's back the attacker. Is Gomez injured? He's a little bit injured, but he's probably not going to play either way, to be fair. FPL veteran in the chat. Dan, hope you're good. Gone for Jota. Heard it here first. Wow. Brave. Very brave. Tutti says, why on earth would you get rid of Darwin for Kane? One has a double game. Do you mean the other way around? I don't think anyone's suggesting getting rid of Darwin for Kane. It's people are getting rid of Kane for Darwin. A move I don't really like, by the way. Which defender for 5 million? Tarkowski. After that, I'd rather just keep whatever I have already. I'd rather play with 10 men than get anyone other than Tarkowski, probably. Can't afford Tarkowski? Mikalenko it is. Wow. So he went up in... Tarkowski literally went up in price like last night, didn't he? Play Bueno or Lewis? I think I'm going to say Bueno. just for the double game week. Am I taking a free hit? No. All right, let me. Okay, I can see a few questions in the chat asking about free hit. So let me try and answer this one. So in general, I don't like the free hit. For most teams, I don't like the free hit. For most of you guys, I don't think it's time for the free hit. I think you will be better off saving that free hit for a future game week. I mean, you can see on screen, for example, guys, we've got game week 28, which is going to have a hell of a lot more blanks and a hell of a lot more problems than game week 25. Even game week 32 has the potential to be more crushing than game week 25. The potential. Game week 29, huge double game week there. Game week 34, huge double game week. So it seems like the upside really is using the free hit in the game week 28-29 transition or the 32-34 transition, where you want to really make your team very different very quickly. Because a lot of the teams that blank one week are the ones who double the following week. And you need to make that quick transition, and the best way to do that is with a free hit. So that's for most people. However, I do think the free hit is actually potentially a good move for a certain group of people. And that group of people are people who have, and this is an arbitrary number, but I'm going to say 4 players from Brighton and Brentford. If you've got 4 players in your team that play for Brighton and Brentford, I think genuinely you can really do quite well with a free hit in game week 25, because what that's going to mean is that you get to attack game week 27 with lots and lots of Brighton and Brentford players, where I believe that both Brighton and Brentford actually have a stronger double game week than they do in week 29. So you can see Brentford play against Everton and is it Southampton, which is a decent double, and Brighton play against Leeds and Crystal Palace, again a decent double. So these fixtures are actually kind of nice. They're like, you know, I like them. I like these fixtures. I like these doubles. So yeah, if you have a lot of players from those two teams, I think 3 or less, maybe not, but if you have 4, if you've got like say a Mitoma, Estepinian, Tony, and Raya or Ben Mee or someone like that, then by free hitting now, you get to keep those guys, and a lot of other people won't have the opportunity to keep those guys, especially if you've also got Rashford and Trippier and Bruno Fernandes as well, and you've got all of these players who are blanking, including those Brentford and Brighton players. Those are the people who I would say should free hit. If you have very few, or maybe only one Brighton or Brentford player, and the other players that you have that are blanking are Newcastle and Man United players, I would just say sell the Newcastle and Man United players and don't play a free hit. Take a -4, take a -8, take a -12 if you need to. But yeah, there's no real benefit of free hitting out players unless you have players who will be desperate to bring back in straight away after. And that is certainly the case for Brighton and Brentford players. But with Newcastle and Man United players, they are kind of like, once you sell them, you're probably, for a lot of them, you're okay with removing them and keeping them removed. You know, they go out and they stay out. A free hit is about bringing those players back in immediately. And that's what you'd be likely wanting to do with Brighton and Brentford. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Just in conclusion there, free hit, I think, is a good option if you have 4 or more players from Brighton and Brentford. If you don't, you could probably sort your team out with a couple of hits, to be honest. Like, let's be real. Like, does anyone really have... I mean, even if you have triple Man United, triple Newcastle, and Mitrovic, you can sort that out with a -12 and still play 11 men. Even play 10 men, like, it's not the end of the world. I think a lot of people, you know, who do play 10 men could do absolutely fine this game week. I don't even think you need 11. I think there's going to be a lot of traps this game week, which I've spoken about to no end on Twitter. I'm so sorry, by the way, guys. I've been on an absolute rant over the last 24 hours regarding certain players who I think are going to be traps for this game week. But hey, Digbit says, how is Hackbo compared to Nunez worth a punt? It's the rotation risk. It's the rotation risk, really. Like, again, Liverpool fans in the chat, shout out now. But I think the feeling is that Hackpo is going to be a severe rotation risk. A severe rotation risk. Not just now, but going forward as well. So He's going to be a problematic player in game week 25, and then after that, he's just going to become more and more and more of a problem as we see the likes of Jota and Firmino return to the team. Even worse when Luis Diaz is back as well. It's going to be bad news for Hakpo owners. So I don't like him. I've spoken a lot about the fact that I'm not keen on Hakpo. I don't think he covers Salah. You know, people talking about swapping Mahrez to Hakpo, definitely would not do that move. You know, even Bruno Fernandes. Don't think I'd sell Bruno Fernandes to Hakpo unless I had to do it to free up budget. That's the only way I would maybe do that move. Again, it's still maybe. Like, the risk is so big. It seems almost not worth it. And I feel like over the next 2 game weeks, even with Liverpool with 3 fixtures and Man United with 1 fixture, I can genuinely see Bruno Fernandes outscoring Cody Hakpo over the next 2. Even more so over the next 3. Which is, yeah, like I say, a wild thing to say, but probably not, maybe not worth -4 to do that. Remember, Bruno Fernandes is still a good player to own. It's just a case of freeing up budget for a lot of people, and I do understand that. Sometimes you are forced into these less than ideal moves because you need to free up some of your money somewhere, and you know it makes sense to go for a double game week player if you're going to do that, right? I mean, I can see like even like Neves and Iwobi potentially outscoring Hakpo. If Hakpo blanks in one game and gets rested in the other game, or you know comes on for like a few minutes from the bench and blanks in that as well, he's going to get a 3-pointer. And that's the same as the base for players like Neves and Iwobi. That is so on the cards. I'm pretty much praying that that's going to happen at this point because I've so committed here with my opinion. I've not made any. I've not twisted my words. I've not. Yeah, I haven't exactly sat on the fence here. Zachariah, of course, we will give you the blackcurrant squash. Cheers. Anytime I see the blackcurrant emoji in the chat, you've got to do a quick cheers, boys. Quick swig. Quick swig. Love it. Right, got a couple of super chats here. Kaz says, Kepa, Trippier, Shaw, Ake, Saka, Rashford, Odegaard, Mahrez, Haaland, and Nketiah, Kane. He's giving me his whole team here. I have the bench boost, free hit and wildcard, unused chips. Free hit or wildcard or save the... No. You're fine. You're fine. So if you play Andreas and Bueno, that instantly gives you 2 more players, which means you will only need to... You only need to replace 1 player. So just replace Luke Shaw with Tarkowski, maybe. And then you're sorted, aren't you? Yeah, Luke Shaw to Tarkowski, and you've got a full 11 of playing players. And, you know, maybe you haven't got any Liverpool players, which is not ideal. Maybe you can afford Shaw to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Maybe you could do, I don't know, Trippier down to Tarkowski and Mahrez up to Salah. I know it's not ideal selling Trippier, but that's kind of the way I've gone with it, which let's see if it works or not. Yeah, it depends on your budget. There is, you know, you could potentially... I wouldn't sell Rashford. You're not going to sell Saka or Odegaard either. So Mahrez is really the only midfielder there you could sell, but like he could do well. He could do well. Anyway, there you go, Kaz. There's a couple of options for you. Nikhil says, hi mate, 72 points in Gameweek 24, thanks to your toin cost. Things we love to see. From 12k up to 4.5k, my guy. Got 3 Arsenal guys, no Saka. My plan, Saka captain, Tarkowski and Nunez. Nketiah, Botman, Bruno. I don't know about this one, Chief. Yeah, I don't like selling Nketiah. I don't think he's a sell. I mean, arguably, you can just... you're saying you have to get rid of an Arsenal player. So could you just keep Nketiah... Sell whatever Arsenal defender you have instead. So just do whatever Arsenal defender you have and Bruno Fernandes to Saka and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Boom, fixed it. There you go, Nikhil. So do Saka in, Trent Alexander-Arnold in, Bruno out, and whatever Arsenal defender you have out as well. And there you will have a wonderful, wonderful team. And you don't even need to take a hit, I'm guessing, because that's only 2 transfers. That's what I would do. Let's see if it works or not. All right, what else have we got here? We've got a load more blackcurrant squash emojis. Cheers. Right. We've got one more super chat from Matt. Tuka -4 for Saka and Tarkovsky. -8 for Salah too. Hey, why not? If you can do it in one transfer or one additional transfer and you're removing a blanking player, hey, why not? Why not? It's all good fun, isn't it? There we go. Patterson to Dawson, says Kirby Life. That's an interesting shout. Not sure. Not sure. Don't know if I like that one so much. Nick Kyle says Hakpo is definitely rotation risk. He is, isn't it? He really is. Captain Saka or Salah? That question is being asked a lot. Let's throw a poll in the chat. We'll do a poll. We'll have 3 decision makers. We'll have the poll. We'll have the toin costs. And then we'll have the Blackcurrant Squash Gang decision. 3 different decisions. You can choose which one you favour. The toin cost, the poll, or the Blackcurrant Squash Gang. So, let's put this in the chat right now. Who is your Game Week 25 captain? Salah, Saka. I'm not going to add a third option here because I think there's going to be such a big gap between Saka and Salah and the third option. I'm not even going to bother putting it again. But yeah, it's the poll is in the chat right now. You guys should be seeing it. Give a little vote. Let's see what the chat are saying. I think it's going to be Salah. I think the chat are going to say Salah. But we'll see. El Alb says, bear with me. Kane and Mahrez or Salah and Mitrovic? I'm going to say Kane and Mahrez. I know, controversial. I'm going to say Kane and Mahrez. Mahrez is one of those high-risk, high-reward players. And Kane, well, first of all, Mitrovic is not even guaranteed to play. And second of all, Kane, for the long term, if Kane gets that double game week, if you look on screen, guys, and you look on the Game Week 29 column for Spurs, there is a chance, depending on FA Cup results, of the Southampton fixture going into Game Week 29. And if that's the case, Spurs are going to have a double game week against Everton and Southampton. That is a Kane captaincy week. That is arguably a Kane triple captaincy week, but I probably wouldn't go that far. But seriously, that's nice. That's very nice. I like it. Base Robin says Nunez rotation risk. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that today. A lot of people have been saying that, which is why another reason why I don't like the Kane to Darwin move. I only like the Kane to Darwin move if it is funding another transfer. Like, you have to free up Kane money in order to go somewhere else. But even that, arguably, you are essentially, I don't know, essentially like removing a player with no route to get them back. So you're going to be removing Kane. If you need the money for other moves, then how are you going to get Kane back? Are you even going to get Kane back? And is that going to cause you some problems? Because I look through these fixtures, Wolves and Nottingham Forest in 26 and 27. I'm assuming a lot of people are going to be free hitting in Game Week 28 anyway. So you don't need Kane for that one if you are free hitting in 28, of course. That does make that assumption. And then potential for a double game week the week after that. That is quite mad. That is quite mad. If that double game week ends up happening as well, Ward-Prowse worth a shout? Double in 27, double in 29? Maybe. Another double in 34 with an unlikely blank in 32. Could be a nice player to tick along nicely. Could be. Will White play? Any Arsenal fan will know. I mean, I guess I'm an Arsenal fan in a roundabout sense. Will he play? Yeah, I think he will. Yeah. Will he play both games? Probably, but nothing's guaranteed in football. Let's consult the poll, and I tell you what, this is insanely close. Insanely close. Guys, if you haven't put your vote in already on the captaincy poll, please do so, because we've got to try and split this somehow. We have got to be splitting this, surely. Let's see. Right, got a couple of other super chats, I think. Have I missed any? I might have missed some. Okay, we've got... Sorry, we're getting a lot today, so apologies if I do miss any super chats. Hayden says, ranked 257k. That's pretty much the same as me, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Armband on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Foolish? I mean, if you want me to tell you it's the sensible decision, I think you know that it's not. Like the fact that you can see by the captaincy poll, you know, we're 47% Salah, 46% Saka, and only 7% other. And 7%, it's not even 7% Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's 7% everybody else. So it's not an optimal move. Let's put it that way. I would not be making that move personally, even at your rank. Because I am at your rank. We're at the same rank pretty much, and I wouldn't be doing that move, no. Let's say yes, it is foolish. Let's commit to yes, it's foolish. Foolish, foolish, foolish. Matt, did we do your super chat? Took a -4 for Saka and Tarkowski, -8 for Salah too. I think I said yes, do it if you can do it simply. Why not? If you can do it nice and easily. A couple more here. We've got Kay who says, is Ødegaard to Saka for a -4 a good move? Does it have to be Ødegaard? Is it a straight transfer? If it's part of a double transfer, I would just keep Ødegaard. I don't think I would do that. No. Even as a straight transfer for a -4, I don't think I would do that. There's a good chance that Ødegaard comes off, you know. Aidan Patel in the chat asked for a bench list. Surely not. Surely we don't need a bench list. Govind Rajkumar says, Kepa, Dyer, Kukurea, Tarkowski, Mahrez, Martinez, Saka, Andreas, Darwin, Haaland, and Nketiah. Is this team solid? Should I take a -4 hit for Salah? How would you be doing that? Would it be a straight Mahrez to Salah move? If so, yeah. But I'm guessing not. If you need to downgrade someone, I guess you downgrade either... probably Dyer. I guess you downgrade Dyer. I don't really trust the Spurs defense. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, I mean, there's an option for you to do that. I don't think it's essential. I don't think it's absolutely essential. Yash says Nketiah, Rashford out, Watkins, Saka in for a -8. Why is everyone removing Nketiah? I think he's a keep. I think people are giving up too soon on Nketiah. He's going to come through for us. The bench list will consist of goalkeepers. Michael, you're so right. You're so right, Michael. I wouldn't, like, obviously Saka is an important player to get, but does it have to be Nketiah that's sacrificed? And, like, Rashford, you're going to want to get Rashford straight back in anyway for that Liverpool game in Gameweek 26. Is there any other way of keeping Rashford? In general, Nketiah and Rashford are two players that I would not sell. So, yes, you're getting in Watkins, not bad. Yes, you're getting Saka in, very good. But they're not the right players to remove to get those to get Saka in. Those two guys are not the players to remove. They're really not. Ahmed says, tell us your final decision about captain, because I should go out. Ahmed, my final decision is Saka. Or is it? Who knows? There's no such thing as a final decision until deadline. Nothing's final until the clock strikes 6:30 GMT. Are we in GMT still? Yeah, we're not in BST yet. Is that the same thing? I hate time zones so much. I despise it. I know BST is what happens in the summer though, right? And what's the winter one called? There's British summertime. Is there British wintertime? BWT? Is that what it's called? I don't know. Maybe there's someone more educated on time zones in the chat. Count Sealor, I see you're still hyping up that Erling Haaland captaincy. I'm actually really curious to see how that goes for you. Like, it could come off. It could genuinely come off. What else have we got here? SDA Ahmed says, short to Tarkowski and Wilson to Darwin for free. It's not bad. That's not bad. Or short to Tarkowski, Kane to Darwin, and Mahrez to Salah for -4. Oh, I don't mind it. But you look, I don't like selling Mahrez. I know some people are forced with that decision. De Bruyne, I would sell. Mahrez, I don't think I would. Unless I had to. If that's the only way of you getting Salah in, it's a -8. That's so many points. Why did I pick this career path? I have to make these difficult decisions for people. I don't want to make your decisions. I want to give my opinion, I guess. All right, my opinion on that one. What would I do personally? I would personally probably... I would probably... Maybe this is too conservative, but I would do the free transfers move. Shaw to Tarkowski, Wilson to Darwin. Like, that is there's two solid transfers that can't really go wrong. There's nothing that could go wrong with that, and you might find yourself very grateful that you have Kane in the future. And by the way, guys, I should say on this, because it's like, right now, it is super hard to give FPL advice. Because one, a lot does depend on chip strategies, at least to a degree. Not massively, but to a degree. But I think the biggest thing of all right now is that some of these suggestions, like me saying, don't go for Darwin, keep Kane. If I am to say that to you guys, that decision might not pay off immediately. You might be looking at the end of Gameweek 25 thinking, I wish I went for Darwin Nunez. I wish I sold Harry Kane. However, when you look back at it after game week 26, 27, 28, or maybe even 29, so 5 game weeks ahead, it might be something that you look back on and think, man, I've got Kane as the, captaincy option for the double game week 29. Like, he scored a load of goals in 26 and 27. I free hitted him out anyway in game week 28. And you might be like so gassed that you kept Kane, but you're not going to get that instant gratification in game week 25. So a lot of the things I've actually been saying all game week are probably not going to come off for you immediately. Like me saying, I'm not going to go for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And this has been very much part of my strategy for this game week. So I'll throw out my team. I wouldn't mind talking about this because I just want to, I don't know, kind of ease minds a little bit, because I think and I think a lot of other FPL creators are kind of maybe falling into this a little bit, and I don't blame them at all. The fact that I am not going all in on this double game week is going to make me look very foolish in the short term if some of these players come off. And no one wants to be made to look foolish, particularly when you're on a public platform like this. However, I genuinely believe that over the long haul, a lot of the players that people are talking about bringing in this week are not going to be worth it, and we're going to have to take hits to bring them in. We're going to have to take more hits to remove them. And when you look at it as a whole, rather than in an individual game week in isolation, it's probably my way could pay off. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Obviously, this is just my personal strategy, my own personal thinking, my own personal musings. But I know I'm at a severe risk of coming away in this game week with a pretty average looking score. And I won't actually reap the rewards of that, making those short-term sacrifices until later. So it's a patience thing, I guess. Not rushing into decisions, trying to avoid double game week traps. Throw enough stuff at the wall, something might stick. Hey, that's a valid opinion too, and that could pay off in game week 25. But when we get to game week 26 and you've got to hit all of these players back out again, then we're in big trouble. So I don't know. Anyway, Dan Cross, thanks for confirming. GMT is now, BST is in the summer. I know that one. But there's no specific name for the winter time other than GMT, because GMT is just like the standard time zone, right? The main time zone, the big man time zone, the big boy. Is the winter time got a special name, or is that just like, hey, the winter time you are in line with GMT, so you can just have GMT as your name. Anyway. So, back to some super chats, because we are getting a lot today. I appreciate this, guys, so much. Idris says, Trippier to Tarkowski, Bruno to Saka, and Nketiah to Darwin. I ended up having Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli. Martinelli is the guy you want to remove, really, there. I would not, even Nketiah to Darwin, even as an individual transfer, I don't think that looks good. You do want to go Bruno to Saka somehow, but Martinelli is maybe the guy to sacrifice? Is that an excuse to get one of the crappy double game week players? Get an Iwobi or a Neves and just pray to the FPL lords that it comes off? Maybe. and then move that player onto a Mitoma or a McAllister over the next couple of game weeks. That's probably what I would do, to be honest. Like I say, there is some situations where players I really don't like as FPL picks, Iwobi, Neves, Gakpo, whoever, actually serve a very specific purpose. And as a placeholder for a Mitoma or a McAllister, as well as allowing you to keep Nketiah and get Saka into your team, that is a perfect example of where there is a place for these kind of players. I definitely concede that there is a place for these kind of players, right? So yeah, that's what I do, Idris. I would keep Nketiah. I would not even bother with Darwin Nunez. I would do Bruno to Saka and move Ødegaard to someone else. Not Cody Gakpo, I don't think. Or maybe, I don't know. One of the crap midfielders that no one really thinks are going to do that well in the long run. But it serves a purpose. Tuckles, it says, is Almiron to Iwobi from -4 worth it? Cheers, mate. I mean, yeah, you can't really go wrong with that transfer move. You're not going to want Almiron in long term anyway. It's not like you're sacrificing a player you actually want long term. So you're pretty much guaranteed to make the 4 points back. You're going to have to make the transfer of that Almiron slot out at some point in the future. Either way, you're going to transfer them out for, I'm guessing, Mitoma, McAllister, March, someone like that, aren't you? So in that case, it is worth it. Again, yeah, we've got some specific circumstances where it is worth it. Yeah, Tuckles, I would make that move. Even from -4. Yash, I see you've put in a super chat, but the message is retracted, so I can't read that, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm not missing too many super chats today. Jeffs says, if I have 2 free transfers on hand and use a free hit, will I still have 2 free transfers ahead of the next game week, trying to plan ahead? And the answer, Jeffs, is no, you will not, unfortunately. The free hit wipes free transfers. So, yeah, I think that maybe answers your question on whether you even want to free hit this week. Because that will wipe your free transfers. Captaincy says, crappy single game week players are better than crappy double game week players. Yes, definitely. Definitely agreed. Because you're outlaying -4 points to swap for one fixture. It does start to change when it's like crappy blanking players for crappy double game week players. Then you go for a crappy double game week players, especially if that is the only way of you playing 11 men. In that case, you would do it, right? But like, for example, if you've got Pereira and you can either swap, let's just say Almiron. You can either swap Almiron to Iwobi or just play Andreas instead and still have 11 men. I would probably just play Andreas because he's, single game week player, about the same kind of ceiling points per individual game there. So I would just play Andreas. But yeah, it's going to be different for different people. But yes, certainly if you've got full 11, like I don't think you need to worry about taking -4s for certain players anyway. Count Celo, you bought Maddison. What have you done? What have you done? Absolute lunatic. Absolute lunatic. Michael Kunzel says, Dan, which City midfielder is best to buy this game week? I don't think there is one, Michael. I wish I had an answer for you there. Like, it is, everyone has so much risk. And what you're doing here, I know you're not trying to, but what you're doing here is you're putting me in a position where I've got to guess something that is just impossible to guess. If you put a gun to my head right now and said, Dan, you have to pick a City midfielder, I guess I would go for Mahrez, purely because I don't know who's going to play. But if Mahrez plays, he's probably got the highest upside. So therefore, go for him. But I cannot tell you whether he's going to start or not. I cannot tell you. I wish I could, but I cannot. The good thing about Mahrez, I guess, is that he was rested last game week. So even though he played 90 minutes in the midweek, he was rested the previous game week. It's actually Grealish who is getting seemingly all of the game time right now. So yeah, particularly if De Bruyne is out, you would maybe say that actually it boosts the chances of Mahrez playing even more. Yeah, let's say Mahrez, but if it goes wrong, please don't blame me. Please don't blame me. Which is why, by the way, another reason why I would keep Mahrez, because I actually genuinely think there is potential to it's like, when we talk about high risk, high reward players, I'm talking about Mahrez, not Iwobi. Iwobi is medium risk, very little reward. Like, there's not that much risk, really. You know they're going to get 4 points, but what's the maximum points they're going to get? 7. Mahrez is the complete other way. So it's not like a range of 4 to 7 points that they're going to get. It is more like Mahrez is either going to score you 0 points, maybe 1 point if you're lucky, or they're going to score you, I don't know, like 15, 16, 17 points. The scale is much wider. And that to me is a high risk, high reward player. And a Iwobi, a Neves is not a high risk, high reward because what are you risking? Like, you're going to get 4 points either way, pretty much. But the reward, the potential reward is not particularly high, really. Because they don't have the same capacity as a Riyad Mahrez to go nuclear and score that mega score. I mean, sure, like, okay, technically they do have that capacity, but it's like something that happens so rarely, once every few years, really, that it's not even worth it. Faded Nathan with the black currant squash emoji will always respond to these comments. Dan, your thoughts about Darwin, please. It's crazy you keep skipping. I think it's because I've spoken about him a little bit already in the stream, but I'm happy to go again for those who weren't here earlier. Yeah, Darwin Núñez, I think he is a big rotation risk. There are worries that he has got a shoulder injury that is maybe going to keep him out of the Crystal Palace game. That is worrying. And even after that, we're looking at a 60-minute type player, right? How many minutes are you expecting to get out of Darwin Núñez? 120 minutes, right? What would you prefer, 90 minutes of Harry Kane or 120 minutes of Darwin Núñez? For me, it's Harry Kane, even in a single game week. And then if you look long-term, Harry Kane is the better option. So for that, I will keep saying this, I would not, in isolation, particularly for a -4, I would not make the Kane to Darwin move unless it funds another move. Because I'm very aware that a lot of the reason why people are downgrading Kane to Darwin is because they need to free up the money. And because of that, because so many people are doing that, what you're seeing a lot of either on YouTube or on Twitter or just general, opinion in general, people are kind of talking themselves into that decision. They're saying, oh, Darwin is actually a better option than Kane. And because they kind of, they're not fully comfortable with actually selling Kane and they're a little bit worried about it. And they're kind of trying to convince themselves that Darwin is a better pick. I really don't think he is. I really don't think Darwin is a better pick than Kane in general. I think most of us will probably agree with that statement. But if you need to free up budget, you need to free up budget. You're going to have to do it somehow. If you desperately need to get Salah in for Bruno Fernandes and you haven't got the cash to do it, someone has to be sacrificed. That is FPL. You cannot have your dream perfect 11 every single game week. You have to make sacrifices here and there, and you can't, there's not unlimited money, unfortunately. I'm sure it would be lovely if we did have unlimited money, but we don't. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine to do it if you need to free up budget. Aside from that, I don't think I would do it. In fact, I know I wouldn't do it because I'm not doing it. That's pretty much answers that question. Does Foden start? Who knows? Who knows if Foden starts? It is a mystery. It is a mystery. A couple more super chats. Let's whiz through these. Ricky says, Madman Ricky here again. Hello, Madman Ricky. Yesterday, I used my 2 free transfers to get Watkins and Trent. Then I wanted Saka, so I swapped Martinelli for Saka, but I didn't have the budget. So, oh my word. And so you sold Trent for Tarkowski. Oh my word. What a disaster. What an absolute nightmare. Ricky, you know what? I think that might pay off. Obviously, it would have been better if you didn't have to make that additional -4, but hey, it's done now. It's done now. Let's see what happens, mate. Let's see what happens. It could work. It could work in your favour still. Ugh. I mean, basically, you're saying that Saka and Tarkowski are going to score at least 4 more points than Martinelli and Trent. And I don't think that's a bad bet to place. But that's the decision you were forced to make. Fair play, Madman Ricky. Fair play. Brad Carroll says, best defender to bring in and why? 5.5 million budget. James Tarkowski or no one. Either buy James Tarkowski or pretty much don't buy anyone. Like, I would rather keep what I have than go for any other defender right now, pretty much. I'd rather play with 10 men than bring in a defender, especially if you're selling Shaw, you're selling Trippier, players who you want to have back anyway. I'd rather keep a Shaw or a Trippier and play with 10 men than transfer them out for a defender I don't want. unless it's Tarkowski. But even that, like, I don't think you need to do that. The great thing about Tarkowski is that he frees up budget, but that doesn't seem to be an issue for you, Brad. So yeah, I would play with 10 men. Why are people so scared of playing with 10 men? It's a blank game week. We're not meant to have the perfect team. It's fine. It's fine. Don't destroy your team for the long term for the sake of one game week. Each individual game week is insignificant in the long scale of things. We've got 38 of them to navigate. That's a lot of game weeks. That is a lot of game weeks. Bazzy, Sal, big old Bazza. What do you got for me, Bazza? What do you think to Saka as triple captain this week? I don't hate it. Obviously, look, this is probably your last chance to use that triple captain. Well, I say that. Let's throw up the graphic again. There are going to be 2 more double game weeks, or 2 more major double game weeks. It's going to be 29 and 34. 34 and 29, one of them is going to be your bench boost, right? Unless you don't have a bench boost, in which case it's not. So if you've already played your bench boost, I would probably actually... I would save my triple captain if I'd already used my bench boost. If I still have my bench boost, I would probably play it this week. And I'd play it on one of Saka or Salah. Now, the experts will tell you, go for Salah. Unfortunately for you guys, I am not an expert. So I am instead going to say Saka. This is the price we pay for watching FPL Mate. You're going to get an out there decision. But sometimes it works. Like, there are good times to take that risk. You know, Rashford worked out last week. I think this is another good opportunity for a risk. It's not going to come off for you every single time. But in a game week like this, no single player is going to destroy you. Salah can't destroy you. Salah can't hurt you this game week. Saka can't hurt you this game week. Everyone's got them both, pretty much. And the captaincy is so split that it's going to be kind of... I mean, it'd be nice to be on the right end of it, but if you're not, it's not going to be the end of the world. You can even go elsewhere if you really wanted to. It's actually because of that split and no one can hurt you, really. Even going for a super differential captain like Odegaard or Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's like, it could be worse. There are worse times to do it. But yeah, Saka gang. Football's played on grass. Right, Tao says, -4 KDB, Kane, and Mitro for Salah, Nunez and Watkins. Can you do that, but just do that, but without doing the Kane to Nunez downgrade? Or can you just do, like, KDB to Salah? Like, that as a transfer in isolation is good. Mitrovic to Watkins in isolation is good. I would argue maybe Mitrovic to João Felix could be okay as well. And I would just do those two. Like I say, I would not make the Kane to Nunez move unless you absolutely had to. I think we end the poll, by the way, guys. We've got 2,500 votes. Salah has won. Salah has won the people's vote. But again, it's pretty close. It's not as close as it was earlier on in the week, to be fair. People asking KDB to Salah, yeah, just do it. Just do it. If you can do that for free, or you can do that for one transfer only, just do it. Even if it's a -4, as long as it's a one transfer, just get it done. Yeah, captaincy poll, finito. Salah 50%, Saka 43%, and other 6%. So, yeah, the differential captain is not popular this week. It is a Salah-Saka split, with Salah taking the lead by a little bit. It's not too bad. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about why I'm captaining Saka. Because you've had the people's poll. That's told you Salah. You're going to have the Blackcurrant Squash gang, the Show Team gang, the people who follow my every move because they are crazy and probably regretting a lot of things. I see a couple of super chats there. We will come back to them. I first want to talk about why I'm captaining Saka. So, first of all, football is played on grass. Football is played on grass, and what I mean by that is that, yes, we have seen time and time again, a lot of people, you've probably seen it all over YouTube or Twitter or whatever, Instagram this week, that Saka has slightly worse non-penalty stats than our good friend Salah. In fact, we'll put this on screen. Let's visualize this. Let's visualize this right now. So, let's go from the range of, let's go since the World Cup. Pretty arbitrary. We can switch around the everything a little bit if we need to. So, let's go on goal threat here. You can see that non-penalty expected goals per start, Saka is actually slightly behind Salah. Salah takes the lead by just that little bit. And that is significant. That is important because you don't know when penalties are going to happen. Liverpool haven't really had penalties this season, but Arsenal have only had 2. I don't think Liverpool have had any. But look, it's irrelevant. Salah could get a penalty this game week, right? So, Salah, therefore, slightly better on the underlying numbers there. Go on key stats. In terms of expected assists, Salah slightly ahead there again. 0.31 expected assists versus 0.28 expected assists. Now, here is the big difference. And if you look at side by side here, the XG versus the G, you can see right now that Salah has not been clinical and Saka has been clinical. So Saka is finishing the chances that he's getting and Salah is not. At least when you compare the two of them, right? This is kind of important because we can look at XG as much as we like. XG only goes as far as it's interpreted. Now, some people will interpret this as, okay, well, I think Salah and Saka are both equally good players. You know, the fact that Saka has scored more goals than Salah from the same amount of chances is just a coincidence at this point. That is a argument. You can say, look, Saka is going to regress to the mean and start performing at his level. And you can say Salah is going to start, you know, he's going to get better, regress to the mean, and start performing at a slightly higher level at his XG, what his XG is suggesting. But that doesn't take into consideration form. It doesn't take into consideration game state. It doesn't take into consideration the fact that Saka is quite literally playing for a better team in better form, doing more. Arguably more important games where, because the Premier League is super important to Arsenal, we haven't got the same amount of fixtures that Liverpool have, and Arsenal are literally fighting for their lives to win the Premier League for the first time in 2 decades. I'm not saying Liverpool games aren't important, but there is going to be a little bit more rotation in that Liverpool team compared to the Arsenal team, you would have imagined. So it really does depend on how you kind of view things. Now, my view is very much that the form, the trajectory, the finishing ability that Saka is showing right now, the confidence, all of that stuff that is the kind of things that make us captain a Rashford instead of a Haaland. We look at the form of the player, we look at the trajectory of the player, the trajectory of the team, how well everyone is playing, where the morale is at. That tells us Saka. However, and even if you are on the Salah side of arguments, it is close, but Salah technically has better expected numbers than Saka. He's just not hitting those numbers. If you expect both Salah and Saka to regress to the mean and hit their levels, an equal level, you assume they're both equally good at finishing, they're equally good at creating, which some people may or may not think. Some people might think Salah is the better finisher than Saka. And that actually, it's going to, we're going to see a flip. And we're going to see Salah overperform and Saka underperform. That is a valid opinion. And these are all different interpretations of the same data. No one answer is right. And even after we see the end of this game week, you know for a fact that this is going to be decided by, which of these two players gets a lucky penalty, gets a lucky tap in, gets an assist that bounces off their back by accident, and that will be the player who ends up scoring more points. And all of this discussion will be meaningless. And it's a coin toss, a coin toss, and that's going to be possibly what decides this one. Both of these picks are good picks. There is no bad pick out of Salah and Saka. Anyone who tells you one is 100% the best one, those people are just kidding themselves. Me, as someone who has decided on Saka, I may have decided on Saka, but that's not me saying that I'm certain Saka is going to do better. Hell no. Hell no. I think there is a huge chance that Salah does better than Saka. But Saka is the vibes pick. He is the form pick. He's arguably the more exciting pick. We could definitely see Salah in a rotated Liverpool team. We could definitely see Salah isolated out on the right. We could definitely see a situation where Liverpool will capitulate once more. On the other hand, we could see Salah go absolutely crazy. We know about Salah's ceiling. We know how well it can go for Salah. So all in all, I don't know if that answers your question. I'm going to go for the grass pick. If you want to go for the spreadsheet pick of Salah, I think that is also a good decision. I'm not bashing the Salah captaincy. And if it goes right for me, I won't be gloating that I went for the better pick. You know, I won't be gloating about that because look, there's barely anything in it. And if it goes wrong for me and Salah outperforms Saka, I know everyone is going to say, aha, I told you, Dan, Salah was the better pick. But, you know, I will tell you, well, I won't even tell you. I'll probably just ignore you, to be honest, because I know that, you know, it's a coin toss. It's luck, you know. These things happen. There is no standout better captain out of these two. If there was a standout better captain out of these two, we would not see so many polls so consistently be so even. We wouldn't. So I know if Salah outperforms Saka, there will be people saying, I told you so. That is called outcome bias. That is called outcome bias, and it's not a useful thing when playing FPL, but enjoy your moment. On the other hand, if Saka outperforms Salah, if I speak, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I got lucky, so what? So we'll see. It'll probably be close between the two anyway. Either way, the most likely outcome is it's pretty close, and this decision will be the least of your concerns. And actually, the decisions outside of this will actually maybe factor in a little bit more. But there we go, guys. Let's try and catch up with some super chats. There you go. You've got a little bit of chat of to why I'm going for Saka, but that is not me saying Salah's a bad captain. So please do not follow me blindly. If you disagree with me, that is absolutely fine, and I think your opinion is valid. Depending on your reasoning, to be fair. If you're just going for Salah because you like his hairstyle more, then that's not good reasoning. Does anyone prefer Salah's hairstyle to Saka's? I don't know. Maybe we should do a poll on that one. Who's got the better hairstyle? That maybe should be a deciding factor in a coin cost situation, which we still will be doing in about 5 minutes' time. We'll do the final coin cost decision. Right, super chats. Alan Wong from Hong Kong says, I have 10 players, only with 2 free transfers used. Okay. Does it work to use -4 to transfer Shaw to Mikalenko? Got Tarkovsky already planned to play both Everton defenders in Gameweek 26 and use the wildcard in 27. Okay, right. Alan, you've got a good situation here. This is a unique situation because you're wildcarding in Gameweek 27. So in that instance, I would take the -4 to transfer out Shaw to Mikalenko because I think over the 2 game weeks, Mikalenko outscores Shaw by more than 4 points over 2 game weeks because that's the only, you know, that's all we're dealing with. If you weren't wildcarding in Gameweek 27, I would give you a different answer, but you are. So, yes, Alan, I would go for that -4, and thank you very much for the super chat. Kay from Hong Kong as well, apparently, says White and Mahrez to Tarkovsky and Saka from -8. I don't mind that. I kind of like that. Yeah. It is from -8, though. It has the potential to go wrong, but generally speaking, I like that move, Kay. Go for it. Right, Francisco Guzman. I don't know what that currency is. NOK. Anyone in the chat know what NOK is as a currency? Can't really tell where you're from, Francisco. I'm guessing it is a... Is that NOK, is that North Korea? No, it can't be. Francisco Guzman is a Hispanic name. Was half asleep fixing my team, took a hit for Kane to Firmino. Keep or take a hit for another striker? If yes, which one? Got 8.2 million. Love the page. Francisco, you're a madman. You got 8.2. I think at this point you just keep Firmino and hope and pray. That's probably what I would do. I would keep Firmino and just... Look, you could get lucky, man. You could get lucky and then you'll be glad you were half asleep. More super chats from Naf. Gakpo and Trent Alexander are in for -4. I can't afford Salah. Like I said, I don't think Gakpo can cover Salah. Don't really like the move. I would think I would not get Gakpo. I guess you're funding Trent though, aren't you? Yeah, I guess you can make that move as long as you're planning Gakpo out very, very soon. Have we got anything else in here that we need to address desperately. I don't think there's any more super chats. NOK, Norwegian krona. All right, I'll remember that one. The Norwegian krona. Is it pronounced krona? I think it is. All right, well, at least it's not North Korea. I don't think I've got many viewers from North Korea. In fact, I know I do have a few viewers from North Korea because it says it on my YouTube analytics. It says I have a few viewers from North Korea. What in the VPN are you doing? Right. Ahmed, thank you for the Canadian dollars, but there's no chat attached to it. The boys are chanting for the Toinkos. They're chanting for the Toinkos. You know what would be really cool? If I had another camera kind of facing down and a table, then I did the flip on there. That would be pretty interesting, right? Okay. We'll do the Toinkos in a minute. We will. Are you making any transfers? No, I'm done. Hi, Dan. I can't afford Salah without selling Kane to Darwin. Thoughts? Yeah, if you're selling a blanking player, then I would do it. If you're selling Mahrez, I probably wouldn't. Would you triple captain this week or save? If I've already used my bench boost, I would save. If I'm planning to use my bench boost in the near future, or in the future, full stop, I would triple captain. Yes. Can't tell you which one to go for. Denzel is captaining Erdegaard. Interesting. James says you've been too nice to the show team gang. I know I have, haven't I? And I haven't even had a chance to bring out the Oscar. I haven't even had a chance. All right, the gang wants the Toinkos. The gang will have the Toinkos. Hang on, I need to sneeze. Let me get this sneeze out of the way, and then we'll do the Toinkos. In fact, should we get the big screen out? All right. It's giant FPL Mate here. Big on your screen. You can now see I'm wearing a beautiful Juventus away shirt from last year, I think. Is it away or third? I can't remember. I just like this shirt. I like the sleeves. Gradient. Anyway, we need to do a Toinkos. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I have this here. This is it. So I'm going to say that this side is Saka. The colourful buttony side is Saka. The blank, boring side, boo, is Salah. I do not decide what the Toinkos says. We will now find out. And if you want to make if you want to use this Toinkos to make your decision, please, it is you. Do not blame the Toinkos. Do not blame. So, okay, I'm gonna flip it now. If I drop this, then I'm doing it again. By the way. So, right, okay, ready? Oh, I dropped it. Okay, right. Try again. Oh, my word. Oh, wait, but I've caught it like this. Okay, I can't. I need to remember. I don't catch it like this. Right. We'll try again. I missed. Just bring a coin next week. That one hit me in the face. Just bring a coin. I will. Okay. I've caught it like this. I can't. I think I know what it is. But we're going to reveal. Remember, black side is Salah. Colourful side is Saka. The answer is... It's Salah. It's Salah. The Toinkos has spoken. Your answer... Oh, wait. Let's do this one. The answer is Salah. There you go. So, if you were in that 50-50 decision, then hopefully you've made that. Congratulations, Salah captainers. If you want to bet, I mean, I'm betting against the Toinkos, so let's see what happens. Because I'm going to stick with Saka, I think. If only there was something that could convince me which is the best captain. I want someone to... I just wish I had someone just to tell me who is the best captain. Oh, hang on. Hang on, guys. I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting a phone call, guys. Just bear with me. Oh, it's my... Hang on, it's my mate Bakayo. It's my mate Bakayo. Hello, Bakayo. How you doing, mate? Yeah. No, I mean, I watched the first episode and I thought, no, there's no way. There's no way. Really? All right. Spoilers. All right, we're both watching House of Dragon at the moment. Sorry. Saka, yes. What do you say? What do you say, mate? I'm guessing you're playing both games in the double. Yeah, of course you're playing. On pen still. Good man. And really, you are scoring a hat trick, mate. Like, are you seriously? Waiting in across the two games or just in one? Sorry, you're telling me that you're going to score a hat trick in each of the two games, one in each, 6 goals. Like, it's never been done before. Fine, mate. Honestly, if you tell me that, I will believe you. I will believe you. Yeah. All right, mate. Yeah. Okay. And tell Shirley I said dibbity doo. She'll know what I mean. Yeah, mate. All right. Cool. Catch you later. Bye bye. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, guys. That was my friend, Bakayo. Unrelated to this stream. Right, okay. A couple more super chats to finish us off. Ahmed says Captain Salah or Saka. The Toinkos says Salah. The people's vote says Salah, so I guess that's Salah. Saka did say. So he did say. Anyway, we've got a super chat from your FPL station here as well. Is it okay to free hit in 25 if you're okay for 27 and 29? Basically, yeah. Like I was kind of saying earlier, if you have 4 or more Brentford and Brighton players, I think there is a serious consideration for free hit in Game Week 25. But we're like 30 seconds till deadline, so I'm sure you're looking for reassurance rather than advice there, really. People are saying that was not a phone, a real phone. Are you joking? Are you seriously saying? You're seriously saying that was not a real phone call? Guys, we went over this. We've been over this. It literally says phone right there on the phone. Like, if it's not a phone, why does it say phone on it? What is it then? Not a real phone. What do you think phones look like? Jeez. Haters will say it's fake. Exactly, Rahul. Exactly. Haters will say it's fake. It's not. Carter says, confirm that was a real phone. Watching the stream with Saka now. There you go. Real phone call. Real phone. Everyone. Well, guys, I have to say, we are locked. We are locked in. The deadline has passed. Congratulations on making it through. Arguably the most stressful deadline that the most stressful deadline we've had in a long time. Base Robin says the poll on FPL said to Captain Saka, by the way. Really? Well, don't trust that the official FPL poll. That's full of casuals. Not like us elite FPL managers over here at the FPL Mate YouTube channel. Captain Saka, and I regret it already. Madness. Yeah, guys, that was a big game. This is going to be a big game week. Not just for this game week, but I think the decisions made in Game Week 25 will go on to define a lot of seasons. A lot of seasons. Whether people are using free hits, whether people are taking a lot of hits, whether that's people bringing in players for the long term or for the short term, whether people have been kind of pushed into different chip strategies depending on their transfers, or doing it like on purpose as well. This is going to be a defining week in the 2022-23 season, and I cannot wait to see how it goes. And we've got a 8 o'clock in the UK, 8 o'clock kickoff between Fulham and Wolves, of which I have 2 players. How often do you guys get to say I have 2 players from the Wolves versus Fulham game? Very rarely. I mean, Bueno's probably going to be benched anyway. But, hey, you never know. I'll take a 1-pointer. Jose says I was the teleworker who connected the call. It was real, guys. Thank you. Finally, some sensible people in the chat. Only 10 players, but no minus points. Greg, it could pay off for you, man. Could pay off for you. Gunit, a little bit late for these kind of decisions, my friend. Crash Bobo, so Saka going to give me -4 points? No, surely not. He told me he's getting a hat-trick in each game. Saka for captain, yes. If Saka works out, probably finally break into the top 100k, so hoping for the best. Hey, it could happen. Captain Trent, but didn't take a hit. Come on, Liverpool, I believe in the double clean sheet. Wow. Haven't captained a defender in a long time. Nervous. Some nervous times. All the way from Nairobi in Kenya. Locked in, Dan the Legend. Good to see you locked in and happy. If I play blank players, will all of the players who play on the bench get on auto sub? Yes, of course. Yeah, don't worry about that, Amit. Tal says, I am the telephone. I can confirm. More sensibleness. Teams will be up now. We've got 30 minutes till teams. We'll stick around for that. Or should we? It's a pretty boring game to be looking at the teams. Jill Bailey says, where Lois? Who's Lois? Lois from Family Guy? Hey, Peter. Where's Lois? What am I doing? I'm doing Family Guy impressions on the FPL Mate YouTube channel. Oh, Lois. Where are you, Lois? I can see the fat man, but not Lois. I shouldn't do this. I should shut my mouth. I've lost the plot. This is what FPL does to a man. Can't wait for KDB to come off the bench and score a brace. Imagine. Let's see your real team now. Bro, this is my real team. Triple Captain McNeil, what are your thoughts? You are a liar. Erdegaard captain. If you went for it, why not? Took a risk on Sarabia. Don't like it, but hey, let's see what happens. Somebody's given the stats of Salah versus Crystal Palace and Wolves, but I mean, let's be honest. Salah from previous years is not the same as Salah right now. This is different. Is Mitrovic starting? Oh, I guess we're going to find that out. All right. Well, we'll stick around for the team news. Bring in Lois for a hit next week. I don't know. Maybe bring in Lois next week. Took a chance with Hakpo. Nice. Too much blackcurrant squash. Yeah. Based. Arsenal fan here, so it's got to be Saka. Yeah, probably played on it a little bit with me. Jeremy says he actually likes this Family Guy act. Should we do a full episode? I can't show full episodes because that would be a copyright infringement. But if I act out an entire episode of Family Guy, will you subscribe to me? Will you send me super chats if I do a full 20 minutes episode impression of Family Guy? I don't know if I could do that. Family Guy impressions on the FPL YouTube channel is the exact type of shenanigans we love you for, Dan. Well, thank you, Jose. I aim to please. I mean, in fairness, you don't see it anywhere else, do you? You don't see it anywhere else. Jacob said I got from FPL Raptor. That's harsh. I'm sure there was a reason. Please don't repeat that reason against me. That was a good... Are you sure? Are you sure that was a good Stewie impression? I don't think it was. Oh, dear. I mean, I feel like Family Guy is a little bit 2012. Family Guy impressions have not been funny for about 10 years. Dan, I reckon a bit of vodka with the blackcurrant squash would be nice. You know what, Ethan? That's not the worst shout in the world. I've never tried it. You got to wear a Family Guy tee. I don't have one. I've not watched Family Guy in at least 3 days. So I'm not that big of a fan. No, seriously. I don't really watch it anymore. I only watch it like now and again if it's on. Loving your work this season, Dan? Thank you, Rishab. A lot of people are not enjoying my work this year. They preferred my work last year, which is understandable given the rank last year compared to this year. But we are on comeback season, so let's see what we can do. I did short to Mikalenko for a -4. Tell me I'm an idiot, Dan. Tim, if you want me to tell you you're an idiot, I will oblige. Gil Bailey in the chat again is saying, where Lois? What does that sentence mean? I am so confused. Guys, I am so confused. What does this, can someone please? I mean, we've got some time to kill before the deadlines come out, right? We've got 20 minutes. Can someone try and decipher? Or Gil? Or Jill? Is it Gil or Jill? Jill Bailey. If you can tell me, or someone can tell me, what the sentence, where Lois means, I would love to know. I would love to know. Does Ake start or not? I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling confident about Ake starting. Just because obviously Laporte is unavailable. Can't wait for a Nunez open goal miss. Luis Diaz? You think? Gil is the best troll. You know, the best kind of troll. The best kind of troll is the kind of troll that just throws like the streamer off, right? So okay, is that a new channel meme? Where Lois? Or is it Lois from Superman? What's her name? Lois Lane? Maybe. Jamily says, deadline is over, man. Yeah, I know. But I don't really have any friends, so I just hang out with you guys. Hope that's okay. Jamily is a good name, by the way. Jamily guy. All right, Jeremy's got a hot take. I can't believe we're going here. This is pure FPL Mate post deadline chat here. But Jeremy says Lois is kind of hot for a cartoon, not as hot as Miss Applebury though. All right, I don't know who Miss Applebury is, but we got the hot take that Lois is kind of hot for a cartoon. L or dub? Is that a dub or an L? That opinion. In the meantime, we are going to actually. Should I be googling Miss Appleberry? What are my search results going to be like here? This is a risk. I'm taking a big risk here. In fact, I'm going to Google it on my phone first, just in case. Like, it's so like. I don't know, it's risky to just Google things live on stream without having a good look on your phone first. Okay, I think it's Coco Melon. I think it's Coco Melon, right. Guys? Oh my, I can already see some Rule 34. So, what are we saying? in the final battle, there is so much Rule 34. Why is this happening? Miss Applebury or Lois Griffin? What are we saying? Someone says Miss Applebury is 17. What the hell? That's surely not true. If she's like a teacher. Is she a teacher or... Teachers can't be 17, can they? No, they can't. Not in this country, anyway. Oh, my word. Well, assuming... I mean, they're cartoons, for heaven's sake. But assuming they're both of age... I feel like I'm Team Appleberry on this one. Thoughts? Anyway, we've devolved quite far here. Let's let's leave that one. He was asking you to mimic Lois on Family Guy, really? Danny went to Formula 1. No, but I want to get into it. I'm going to start watching... what is that? What's that TV show? The series. It's got something like, I don't know, Ride or Die or something like that. Whatever the TV show is on Formula 1. I'm going to try and watch that as a bit of an introduction to F1. Because I used to watch... used to watch F1 when I was younger, but I haven't watched it like consistently in a long time. Drive to Survive, that's it. I don't know why I thought it was. Drive to Survive. Thank you, guys. Yeah, new series came out, didn't it? Just now. That's what made me think of it, actually. I did see people kind of hyping up new series. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a watch. I'm gonna give that a watch in my spare time. I'm watching Ted Lasso at the moment, which I have to thoroughly recommend. Any of you guys who haven't watched Ted Lasso yet, definitely get on that. I didn't watch it just because I didn't have Apple TV, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get the free trial of Apple TV, and I'm just gonna have a look at Ted Lasso. I've been wanting to watch it for a while. Let's give it a go. And if it's good, I'll keep the subscription. If not, I will cancel. Yeah, it's fantastic. It is really, really good. So yeah, Ted Lasso, definitely recommend. FPL Boa Morte says, bro, have you ever played RuneScape? Boy, have I ever played RuneScape. I mean, I do have an old school RuneScape account, which I have played a lot on, but I've only got 2 99s on my old school account. But in the original RuneScape 2, and we're talking, what, like 15 years ago? Man alive. I think I've got something ridiculous, like, it's like 250, 300 days playtime on that game. Maybe it's even more, to be fair. In fact, it probably is more. Yeah, I absolutely I rimmed that game like crazy. Football is life. Waiting for Ted Lasso 3 is like waiting for GTA 6. Yeah, that's another thing I'm looking forward to. GTA 6, my boy. I'm hoping I can get my internet sorted so we can stream some GTA 6. At the rate my internet upgrade is taking, they will probably happen about the same time. Shreyam says, Saka captain or Salah captain? That kind of depends on who you had as your captain about half an hour ago. Whoever you had as your captain about half an hour ago, I reckon go for them. What's Ted Lasso about? It's basically about an American football coach who comes over to coach English Premier League football. But it's a comedy. It's funny. It's got some good actors in, some familiar faces. It's got some good writers. I think it's the same writers as, I can't remember. The same writers as Scrubs. Love that show. Yeah, it's got drama in it, it's got comedy in it, but it's got football in it, which is the most important thing. And you just follow the journey of a football, like an underdog football team, basically. It's good. I'd love to watch Dan do GTA streams. I would also love that. I would just love to play GTA 6. That's all I want in my life. Like, I've put too many hours on GTA 5. I haven't played it in a while now. Plot twist, their captain was Mateta. Well, that's unfortunate. Have you seen The Last of Us? Not yet. That's also on the watch list. What's that on? That's Sky Atlantic, isn't it? Have I got that right? It's on the watch list. Nice. I love Scrubs. Oh yeah, man. Like, Scrubs to me is my all-time favorite TV show, possibly. I was going to say comedy sitcom, but I'm going to stick my neck out here and say Scrubs is the greatest TV show of all time. Which is probably an unpopular opinion, but I like it. Nunez really struggling. Sadio Mane such a miss. This is Liverpool going for quadruple last year. I know it's different, right? Okay, HBO for The Last of Us. So what's that in the UK? Does that come under Now TV? How are you guys? Those of you guys who are watching, or is it on YouTube? Those of you guys who are watching The Last of Us, if you're from the UK, then let me know where I can watch that. Milty says Seinfeld. Yeah, goated. Big fan of that. Hogwarts Legacy is my new obsession. Brilliant game. Yeah, so I bought Hogwarts Legacy, not because I wanted to play it, but as a gift for my wife. So Mrs. FPL Mate has sunk in the last 2 days since I bought it for her. I'm going to say like 20 hours, like genuinely about 20 hours of gameplay. I've been watching her play. It does look really, really good. I've not actually got my hands on the controller yet. Actually, no, that's a lie. She couldn't do the Quidditch challenge, so she gave me the controller for the Quidditch challenge, and I did that for her. But aside from that, yeah, she's been smashing it. Jordan says you are terrified of zombies. You ain't watching The Last of Us. Why not? I might. Yeah, I could. I could watch that. Maybe. No, like I feel like if you watch The Walking Dead, then that's fine. Like, I'm not a huge fan of zombies. I wouldn't want one in my house, for example. But I feel like I could. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Now TV, by the way, guys, people are saying to watch The Last of Us. I think, don't you have to get a certain package though? I've got like I got the sports package on Now TV, but Sky Sports. But is it? I think I've got entertainment or movies. I can't remember. Well, I think I have to like. It's Now TV is so draining because you just have to keep paying and paying and paying, upgrading your subscription to get different networks and channels, and you can't have it all. Have you seen Breaking Bad? That's the best series of all time. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Have you watched Friends? Yes. What's for dinner? Mrs. FPL Mate is on a night shift, so I'm very much alone tonight. Yeah, tonight's kind of already smells like a ready meal watching the football. And no, what I will say is crying into your ready meal kind of evening. That's what kind of night it is tonight. It's a crying into your ready meal while watch Bueno and Andreas score a combined 2 FPL points. That will be my evening. So, you know, if you guys are ever interested in a day in the life of an FPL YouTuber, yeah, crying into a ready meal and watching a terrible game of football where you don't get any FPL points anyway. Did you watch Better Call Saul? I started it. I've not finished it. I probably should finish that at some point. You use free hit? No, free hit's still in the bag. Bueno starts apparently. Okay. This is good news. My favourite cuisine. Tear flavoured ready meals. They just add that little bit of salt to the mix. You know, yeah, it's good. I noticed that Michael Scott, when you were on the phone to Saka, tell her she'll know what I mean. That's a Scrubs joke, isn't it? Oh no, that is also an Office joke as well, isn't it? Bueno 14-pointer incoming. I mean, if it happens, I will love it, and I think I deserve. Advite says, "Can you say my name?" I believe I just did. FPL Belmonte is Mrs. FPL Mate striking with the nurses. She is not a nurse anymore. She's moved. She is now on the paramedic team. Is Mitro starting? We're going to find that out, my friend. Tim Inman says, "Were your watch-alongs a success? Will there be any in the future?" I think they went okay. The problem is my internet is so bad that it was just really difficult to do. Because I wanted to be doing something else. I don't want to just do a boring watch-along on its own. Actually, no, because it was like 3 p.m. watch-along, so I couldn't watch the games, and I was mostly just playing some Xbox, streaming some FIFA or something. Bit of a weird one. Might you do a Gameweek 28 wildcard? I don't think so. Not personally, no. Okay, so people say no Mitro. Should we go on Twitter? See what's up. Let's see what's up. Right, Mitro is starting and Mitro is not starting. Bueno is starting leaked. Amazing. Siddharth, yeah, there's a Discord. There's an FPL Mate Discord channel. I can't lie. I don't really use it. All right, let's have a look. No Mitro peak for those owners. Yeah, I know. I wonder what his ownership is like right now. I'd be really curious to see how many people actually held onto him. Because there might be a few people playing with 10 men. All right, so Team News and Ticks, the legend himself, who is very reliable. No Mitro and yes Bueno. All right, so this is good. I mean, it's good for me. If you're a Mitrovic owner, then it's not so good. But Bueno starting. What we need now is Bueno to get subbed off at 0-0 at 60 minutes, and then after 60 minutes, when Bueno is off the field, Andreas Pereira, hat-trick. Who says no? Who says no? Yash says, I work in asset management, and I gotta say, the skills are transferable to FPL. Still get more red arrows than green arrows. Yash, keep transferring those skills, mate, and you'll be onto some more green arrows, I'm sure. Dan Cross, this is why you buy Neil Maupay to replace him. Dan Cross, have you done the cardinal sin of actually buying Neil Maupay? If you have, I think there needs to be a serious discussion about whether you can moderate this channel or not. A serious discussion. Imagine Bueno does a Bednarak and gets a -7. Oh, please don't. Oh, please don't. Bueno 59 minutes masterclass. Honestly, I would not be that surprised. MT1878 says, I aspire to be a fish of them. Look, I mean, I'm not going to tell you can't be a fish of them. Bueno will probably get subbed off at 59th minute with your luck. My luck has been good. My luck has been, it's changed. We've turned a corner. FPL Mate is back. Wait, FP Mate is back. That's what I meant to say. FP Mate is back. We've got the FPL Mate luck. We are back. Ethan says, Dan, you read my mind. I just know. Ramsey says, hey, Dan, just something to celebrate come 15th of March. I will be mild kidney cancer free after cryotherapy. Ramsey, my guy, I didn't even know. Actually, did you speak about this before on chat? I couldn't remember. I can't remember. Because there was someone who said they were going through some kind of therapy to hopefully become cancer-free not so long ago. Did you tell me that before, Ramsey? Let me know in the chat. But man, I mean, this is huge. Congratulations, man. Like, that is awesome. That is so awesome. You must feel like, I don't know. I'm guessing it feels unreal. Yeah, I'm so gassed for you. I genuinely am. That's awesome. That is awesome. Dan Cross says, see ya. I'm guessing you did the big Maupay move. I hope he misses a penalty and gets a red card in the first game. I really do. You deserve nothing more than that for betraying the channel. You betrayed us all. Might you do a Gameweek 28 wildcard video? Probably not, to be honest, because I feel like there's not going to be enough time. That is going to be a big game week for videos. It's going to be a very, very big game week for videos, and the free hit video's got to sneak in there somehow. It's going to be difficult to get in, I think. Been some journey. I can only imagine, man. I can only imagine. But can you beat Goku? I cannot. Not Dan praying on his downfall. I will be praying for Maupay's downfall forever and always. Archie says, started watching you this year. Love your content and watch every vid. Archie, my guy. The says, got any bets on this weekend? I don't bet. And when I say I don't bet, I mean I have literally never placed a bet in my life. And I don't intend on ever doing it. If you don't start betting, you can't go down on money. I'm just not. I don't want to. You know, FPL is my voice. I don't particularly feel like starting, so I don't think I will. What's your thoughts on Game Week 28 wildcard and then Game Week 29 bench boost? It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I've looked at that. Like all different combinations of chips and putting them in different places. Sadly, that one just doesn't work. Why? Like, we've got Will Smith. He's just been on my screen for so long. I guess we just keep him there. Like, if you look, hang on, let's throw this graphic back on screen for a sec. Is that the right graphic? Hell no, that is not the right graphic. Oh, it's because it's on this page. Right, quick intro. Okay, right. If you look at the this graphic, wildcard 28 into bench boost 29 doesn't really work because you can't have any Brentford or Brighton players really, or at least not many. Leicester, no. Man City, no. Man United, no. Southampton, Spurs, West Ham, no, because they all blank, and these are kind of the players that you're going to be bench boosting with in 29. Liverpool could very well blank in that game week very easily. As could Leeds, as could Fulham, as could Wolves. I think I've got that right. So, yeah, the wildcard 28 to Game Week 29 bench boost is hardly is not really compatible, and you have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to make it work, which is kind of like not what the bench boost is about. The bench boost is about maximizing the most value you can get out of your bench boost. So yeah, for that reason, I don't like the 28 wildcard. I feel like I'm guessing this is the strategy that's been come up with if you haven't got a free hit, which is unfortunate. But I feel like maybe use transfers over the next few game weeks to try and sort the situation out. Try and save your wild card for a bench boost in 34. If you can survive that long. If you can set yourself up to survive in 28, you can probably survive 32 as well quite easily. So do that. Wild card 33, bench boost 34. That's what I would do personally. Remo says, you give the best tips, mate. All my mates use your hints and tips. Oh, thank you so much for watching, to you and your mates. I forgot this week, and now Rashford is vice-captain and Haaland is captain. Unlucky, Shyrose. I'm sure it will... look, there are worse things to do than captain Haaland against Bournemouth. Let's be real. There are worse things in life. Will you be doing a Game Week 29 wildcard close to the time? I'll be doing a Game Week 27 wildcard, because I do think that is a good time to wildcard. Potentially, for a lot of people. So there will be a Game Week 29 wildcard video, for sure. 27. Yeah, in general, I only really make wildcard and free hit videos where it's like a kind of, at least a little bit of a good game week to wildcard and free hit. I mean, I feel like no one is watching a Game Week 28 wildcard video because so few people are going to be doing that. So I've got to kind of, consider my time. I can only make a certain amount of videos per week. I've got to try and make like the best ones and, the ones that just, keep the most amount of people pleased, I guess, and get those views. Alex says, what's your highest ever position? In FPL, I have been as high as 12th at the back end of last season. My highest final position in FPL was 243rd last season. Which was obviously... which was pretty gas, I'm not going to lie. That was an amazing season, which obviously I'm not going to repeat this year, but let's see how close we can get. But yeah, I was at 1 point 12th in the world, which is just crazy. Like thinking about that now is just so surreal. Like there was a chance where I could have conceived, like where it was worth considering the fact that I might win FPL. Obviously it didn't happen. It wasn't even particularly close, but still. Right, let's get these lineups, boys and girls. I went onto it and the first thing I see is FPL Mate spamming. Gakpo does not cover Salah. Well, am I wrong? Only 3 zeros out this year, I know. Depressing. 243rd to 256,000th. Right. Fantasy. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. That's why. All right. Official FPL. Here we go. Hopefully it's retweeted. All right. We got the Fulham retweeted. Leno, Tete, Diop, Ream, Robinson, Reed, Palinha, Andreas, Decadova-Reed, Vinicius, and Willian. So we have got the big man Andreas playing. Unfortunately for him, Willian is going to take some of his set pieces, which is unfortunate for those of us who are playing Andreas. But still, it's not bad. I think I'd take a 0-0 from this game, to be honest. Andreas 3 points, Bueno 6 points. I would not complain. I wonder what my rank is now that everyone's taken their hits. Surely I've gone up rank. Anyway, Mitrovic not in the squad at all here. So we kind of got an idea that might be the case. Let's on the other hand see, can we get a refresh here? Let's see if Wolves have been retweeted yet. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna. There you go. All right. Oh, I hate the way Wolves do that. Oh, I hate this so much. Oh, why do I have to read it like this? Just put it on a static image. All right. Semedo, Dawson, Kilman, Bueno, Lamina, Neves, Nunez, Cunha, Jimenez, Sarabia. So, what we have here is Neves playing deep. Shock. Oh, Canada's covering screen? Well, thanks for telling me, guys. Oh, no, genuinely, thanks for telling me. Yeah, there's your Fulham lineup. I do apologise for that. And then Wolves team on screen now. So, yeah. It's, I don't know what can we ascertain from this? It's quite, I mean, Cunha, Jimenez, Sarabia. I mean, Jimenez takes Neves off penalties and Neves is playing deep. So I feel like if you did go for Neves this week, this is an L. If you went for Nunez, I don't think many people did, but he is going to be kind of playing a little bit further forward. Cunha, he's playing at least. Sarabia, he's playing at least. So, you know, that's a start, right? And like you say, it's an attacking team. I do like the Fulham defense though at the moment, so I'm not convinced that they'll get any goals from this. Neves certainly is certainly weaker now than he was before we knew the lineups, I think. Well, yeah, it's pretty reasonably attacking lineup. Yeah, well, let's see what happens with Andreas. Again, Andreas, the fact that Willian is playing is going to take a few set pieces away from Andreas. Could take penalties as well away from him, which is not ideal because there was that hope that Andreas would be on penalties with the lack of Willian. But hey, this is going to be a terrible game of football, but I am still going to very much enjoy seeing if I can get any points whatsoever from my good friends over at Andreas and Bueno FC. We are going to disappear, guys, but very quickly before I go, be interested to know, have you got any players from these two games starting? And if so, who are they? Who are you guys cheering for in tonight's game? And then I'll leave you alone and I'll let you get on with your Friday evenings. What you do? It's Friday night. Why you're sitting in watching FPL, mate? There is so much life to live. There is so much life to live. Anyone got anything for me? So Bueno and Cunha, okay. So back in the Wolves boys there. Do I fear Neves? Not really. He's not even on penalties now. Dawson, interesting. Dawson set piece threat could be nice. Bueno. The Bueno and Andreas gang is strong. Andreas and Kilman started Andreas ahead of Bueno. Bueno and Andreas. Kilman and Andreas. Bueno gang, let's go. We're going to celebrate every moment. If we get anything from Bueno, we're going to celebrate it like we won the FA Cup. And that's why I said won the FA Cup. That's so random. Won the World Cup. We're going to celebrate like we've won FPL if Bueno gets anything from this game. And then if Bueno and Andreas both get something out of this game, my word. My word. If Bueno gets a goal in this game, I'm going to erupt everywhere. You don't want to be there to see the mess. Same with Andreas Pereira. I'm interested to see which one of those two guys is more differential, but I imagine both are a little bit differential. Like, Bueno should be, like, not many people in the like wider FPL world will own Bueno, right? Let's see. I'll take a 0-0 though, I think. If you ask me. If you offer it to me, I'll take a 0-0. As long as Bueno gets the clean sheet points. Right. Boys and girls, I am going to disappear now. I do appreciate you sticking with me, even after the deadline is over. It's always nice to have a little bit more of a casual chat to you guys. This is going to be a fun game week, a really fun game week. So I hope to see a few of you guys over on Twitter. We're going to be reacting to it all over there at FPL Mate. Hope you enjoyed the content this week. Hope we've been able to help you out or just have a little bit of fun discussion about FPL in general. I think we have. I think it's been, I've enjoyed this week, to be honest. But yeah. That's pretty much it for me today. I'm going to go cry into a ready meal and watch the football. So, thank you for watching this week. Good luck. Enjoy the football. And I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.